Morrissey must be the odd one out because he had something thrown at him.
Well, you're very close. In fact, you could even be correct in that assumption, because all the others have thrown various things. Do you know this fellow down the
Tony Burke.
Yeah, and he is the current black pudding throwing world champion. Well, no, what they do, they take the black pudding, they wrap it in ladies' tights, and they hurl them underarm, and they try and dislodge a pile of Yorkshire puddings on a plinth off the ground, outside in Ramsbottom, it happens, apparently.
Is that true?
That's absolutely true. And
How nice to hear the words black pudding and plinth in the same sentence.
Plinth, yeah.
It's very good, it's very pleasing.
Tony Burke won the 2006 championships on a lob-off. Anyone know what that is?
Sort of omelette.
No, it's a tie-break. Yes.
You get white pudding as well, can't you?
You can get white pudding. It's a Scottish thing, isn't it, white pudding?
Yes, you're right.
It is, isn't it?
Yeah,
Is it? Did you ever partaken?
I've had white pudding.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Any good?
What is it to you?
Just asking. Very protective of your Scottishness.
No, I'm fine. I'm openly Scottish. I'm fiercely... I want all road signs in Scotland to be written in Sean Connery. Like in Wales, you have them two languages, so if you go up and it says 60 and underneath it says 60.
He's threatened to come back to Scotland, hasn't he?
Has he?
If the Scots Nats win, he's
king.
coming home.
Is he?
He's going to pay his taxes. I mean, forget North Sea oil. Scotland's going to be loaded.
Yes, Hugh Grant threw a Tupperware container
full of beans.
Of baked beans at a paparazzo. We can actually see what happened here. First he kicked and punched the man there, and then he threw the beans like this. That's him throwing the beans, and then the beans flew through the air in an arc of beans. And then the photographer said he felt battered and covered in baked beans. And here's a picture of the injury that he sustained in the incident. He's got bean burn or something.
Beans for bean.
No, you're right. They've all thrown the ingredients of a full English breakfast apart from militant vegetarian Morrissey, who was hit in the face by a sausage. Richard Madeley once called Morrissey an insufferable, puffed-up prat and a vainglorious, strutting humbug in his winning speech at this year's National Black Pot and Kettle Contest. Time now for our Missing Words round, which this week features guest publication Devon's folk magazine, What's Afoot? The magazine of Devon folk music, which tells readers there's a long weekend of folk dance coming up. And when I say long weekend... And we start with onion lovers, what?
Expecting baby onion?
Is it wheat?
Yeah, well, it's set for tears.
That's near enough.
According to the News of the World, onion prices are going up, with growers predicting an onion shortage. Many barbecues this summer will be ruined as guests will be denied the opportunity of saying, no thanks, I'll just have it on its own. No. Doctors are denied training, so NHS what?
Can get worse. It's a policy statement.
Well, true, yes.
So NHS can be more exciting.
An element of risk.
Yeah, because you never know how it's going to turn out.
Somebody thumbs through a manual as they're...
Yeah, that's right. You might have a talented young doctor who can bluff his way through the procedure, or you might get a duffer. Actually, that's what it's like.
The answer is can balance books. Junior doctors wrote an angry open letter to the government. Shambolic and deeply destructive were unfortunately the only words which were legible. Next, what is the only way to describe Alan Whitbread's rendering of the Abbots Bromley horn dance? And this is from Folk magazine.
Is it undescribable?
Surprisingly hellish.
Spiteful.
Hate-filled.
Yeah. Hate-filled rant. Yeah.
Arousing.
Is it Terpsichorean Viagra?
Well, I've never been asked that question, but...
Memorable. It's got to be memorable.
You know, it's actually very haunting, is the word.
Haunting.
According to the reviewer of Alan Whitbread's CD, there is a touch of nervousness in the recording. Be honest, Alan, if you're not getting a 5-star review in What's Afoot, I'd just stick to the table. Next, Judge Watt over lost trousers.
The suing. He's
Yes,
sued.
yeah.
He sued dry cleaners.
Yes. For how much? Do you know how much?
$18 million. $28 million.
Keep
It
going.
was like $850 million, something like that.
No.
$48 million.
This could take a long
38.
time.
85.
In pounds.
£7.
£6.
What were those trousers in for?
Oh, no,
Very
he's
strong, the pound.
opened the door and a trouser bidding round. that was going to happen. No, he's right. He sues dry cleaners for £33.5 million.
Were they gold trousers?
They were the Turin trousers. No, they're the trousers of Jesus. Christ's trousers.
Are there still visible signs in the...
Wood shavings in the pockets. No, a judge in Washington, USA, has caused controversy. Can I say that word like that? Or no, go back a bit. Controversy. I'll say it in a weird way.
Yeah, trouble is good.
A judge, yes, thank you. A judge in Washington, I'll tell you a Chaucerian thing. Washington has caused a controversy. A judge in Washington has caused trouble with his excessive claim over a lost pair of trousers, which included the following calculations. 2 signs in the dry cleaner's shop promised good service, which he claimed he didn't receive, so that's $1,500 times each violation, times each sign, times the 120 days the signs were displayed for. Times 3, he's suing the owner, the owner's wife and their son, plus $500,000 for emotional damages, plus $524,000 legal fees, despite representing himself, plus $15,000 for weekend car rental for 10 years to visit other dry cleaners. $60 million. He's really taking them to the, well, themselves. And lastly, BBC joins the rush to provide TV programmes on what?
Toilet paper.
Demand.
Well, you're right, it is on demand. Is the
On
answer,
demand.
yeah. This means a lot of people will now be able to watch this show at any time on their computers, say in the early hours of the morning, on their own. Hi, I'm Bill.
That was good, that.
It
It made me forget where I was for a minute.
That was haunting. An excited BBC spokesman announced programmes will be available to watch via the internet for 7 days after their original transmission. What sensational progress. It's almost as good as taping it. On tapes that self-destruct in 7 days. So, the final scores are Ian and Adam with 4, but Paul and Armando racing to a magnificent 10. But before we go, there's just time for the caption competition.
This is where I keep my legs.
On which note, we say thank you to our panellists Ian Hislop and Adam Buxton, Paul Merton and Armando Iannucci. And I leave you with the news that there are fears that defence contractors may have cut some corners as they deliver the new £20 billion Trident. At Heathrow, the trainee air traffic controller glances out of the window after nipping out for a quick cigarette. And after the successful launch of its Kate Moss range of clothes, Topshop present their new line in Pete Doherty underwear. Good night.
Lulu is a boom banger banging and Cliff has some wicked dance moves. It's a Eurovision Top of the Pops 2 next, and later our movie is The Fabulous Baker Boys at 10 to 1.
Nice to see Bill on the show. He was sitting here last time he was on, and I said he looked like a Klingon.
You can actually speak. You can speak some Klingon, can't you, Bill?
Which means only a little.
I get by.
Actually, Ian, you have got a slight... I don't know if you follow these things, but you have a slight tinge of Yoda about you. I don't know if you know that.
Unfair, that is.
News have I got for you.